Hey everyone, will you be my Valentine? Will be asked by millions of people in just a few short weeks from now. Tons of cards, truckloads of heart-shaped candies will be literally scattered to the four corners of the earth. But what's it all about? Why is the day named after Saint Valentine? Is there any religious significance to February 14th? Where in the world did Saint Valentine's Day come from? You might suppose, because as little kids, we were in school, you would think teachers, educators, and certainly ministers would know, but do they? How many of you have ever been taught the real origin of Valentine's Day? There's far too much silence when it comes to the customs of mainstream Christianity. We don't even know why we do the things we do because nobody speaks out about it. Well, isn't it time we examine why we encourage our children to celebrate St. Valentine's Day? Oh, by the way, when it's never as so much as even mentioned in the Bible and is never a practice of the New Testament Church of God. Did you know that centuries before Christ, the pagan Romans celebrated February 15th and the evening of the 14th as an idolatrous and sensual festival in honor of Lupercus, the hunter of wolves? When Constantine made Christianity the official religion of the Roman Empire, there was some talk in, church circles of discarding this pagan free-for-all. But the Roman citizens wouldn't hear of it. And so it was agreed that the holiday would continue as it was, except for, some of the more grossly sensual observances. It was not until the reign of Pope Gelasius that the holiday became a quote-unquote Christian custom. As far back as 496, Pope Gelasius changed Lupercalia on February 14th to St. Valentine's Day on February 14th. You get that from page 172 of Customs and Holidays Around the World by Lavinia Dobler. But how did this pagan festival acquire the name of St. Valentine's Day? And why is the, should we say, naked little Cupid of the pagan Romans so often associated today with February 14th? And since we're asking questions, why do little children and even adults still cut out hearts and send them on a day in honor of Lupercus, the hunter of wolves? Why have we supposed these pagan customs in honor of a false god are Christian? So Valentine was a common Roman name, one that parents would often give to their children in honor of the famous man who was first called Valentine in antiquity. That famous man was Lupercus the hunter. Well, then the natural question is, who was Lupercus? The Greeks called Lupercus by the name of Pan, P-A-N. The Semites called Pan Baal, B-A-A-L, Baal, according to the classical dictionaries. Baal is mentioned very often in the Bible, all throughout the scriptures, and it was merely another name for Nimrod. The hunter Nimrod was the Lupercus, or wolf hunter of the Romans. And St. Valentine's Day was originally a day set aside by the pagans in his honor. But why should Nimrod have been called Valentine? Well, Valentine comes from the Latin word Valentinus, a proper name derived from the word valens, meaning to be strong. And you can look that up in Webster's dictionary. That's where I got it. And it means literally strong, powerful, or mighty. So we read in the Bible about this Nimrod, and it says that he was a mighty hunter In the English, it says before the Lord. You can read that in Genesis 10:9, and I hope you will. But in actuality, if you study the word, he was a mighty hunter against the Lord. He was opposed to the Lord. But Nimrod was their hero, the people's hero. He was their strong man. He was their Valentine. Another of Nimrod's names was Sanctus or Santa, meaning saint. It was a common title of any hero god, little g, explaining why the Roman Lupercalia is called, maybe you've guessed it, Saint Valentine's Day. The pagan Romans acquired the symbol of the heart from the Babylonians. In the Babylonian tongue, the word for heart was Baal, B-A-L, and you can look that up in Young's Concordance or Strong's Concordance. The heart, the B-A-L, was merely a symbol of Nimrod, the Baal, or the Lord of the Babylonians. Professing Christians in Constantine's day made Nimrod, the Saint Valentine of the heathen, a saint of the church, and they continue to honor him under the name of a Christian martyr. Why February 14th? It was the custom of antiquity for the mother of a male child to present herself for purification on the 40th day after the day of birth. The 40th day after January 6th, which apparently was Nimrod's original birth date, takes us to February 15th, the celebration of which began on the evening of February 14th, the Lupercalia, or St. Valentine's Day. Another name for the child Nimrod was Cupid, meaning desire. And you can go to Encyclopedia Britannica and look up the subtitle Cupid. It is said that when Nimrod's mother saw him, she lusted after him, she desired him, and Nimrod became her Cupid, her desired one, and later her Valentine. So evil was Nimrod's mother that it is said she married her own son. In fact, we can find inscribed on the monuments of ancient Egypt, there's inscriptions that Nimrod, now they call him Osiris, was the husband of his mother. As Nimrod grew up, he became the child hero of many women who desired him, and he was their Cupid. In fact, in the book of Daniel, he is called the desire of women. Now, you can find that in Daniel chapter 11, verse 37. I hope you'll read it. Moffat translates the word as Tammuz, a Babylonian name of Nimrod. He provoked so many women to jealousy that an idol of him was often called the image of jealousy. Ezekiel chapter 8, verse 5. I invite you to research the truth regarding this subject. Check out the booklet, Pagan Holidays or God's Holidays, which was written by Herbert W. Armstrong. Pagan Holidays or God's Holidays, which, written by Herbert W. Armstrong. You'll find it on our website. If you really want to connect with God's plan and purpose for your life, start by exposing pagan customs. Start by asking yourself, why do you do the things you do? It's about time we examine these nonsense customs of the pagans, now falsely labeled Christian. It's time we quit this idolatry and get back to the faith of Christ delivered once for all time. Let's stop teaching our children these pagan customs in memory of Baal, the sun god, Nimrod, the original Saint Valentine, and let's try something different for once, like teaching them what the Bible really says. Thanks for watching. If you want more videos breaking down God's truth for today, hit subscribe and join us. We'd love to have you. If you have questions, comments, concerns, I invite you to visit us on Facebook. I'll answer them. We also have further Bible study materials on our website, all free of charge. The links are below. The Bible is the most up-to-date book ever written. It's a new book. It's a now book for today and tomorrow. It's a book of truth, always the same. It never gets old. This is Michael Ellertson with The Holy Kiss. Until next time, goodbye, friends.